All right, guys, let's talk about the Doxa Sub 200. This is the diving star variant of the yellow one. And there's all the other models too. There's the professional, the orange, the turquoise, the silver, the Caribbean, the blue, the black. There's even a limited one that has a special colorway just for that one and a limited release. I forget how many they made, but that one probably is going to at least hold its value or go up. I don't feel the same way. Well, I can confirm it's not the same story for the rest of the colorways, at least as of now. These were recent releases. They were Baselworld 2019 releases, I think. And they're trickling now out there. You're starting to see them a little more on the regular. If you're on like the Facebook Doxa group or something like that, you're starting to see them pop up, different colors and everything like that. And the colors are fun, just like they are in all the other Doxa models. But this is definitely a different creature. I try not to be negative on a watch, and although I really like this watch, there are some negative aspects to it. So let's talk about the case size, and then I want to cover the packaging, and then we'll get into some other stuff. So you are looking at a 42 millimeter case, and that is from here to here. I know this side kind of flares out a little bit and adds a bit of a crown guard. There's really no way to exclude that, so I just included it. So it's like 42 mil crossed. A very short 46 lug to lug, and you can see that bracelet instantly drops off, so you're not getting any added lug to lug length there. The thickness, if you were to measure from the case back to the top of the bezel, it's only like 11.35. But we're going to have to count the sapphire boxed domed crystal with anti-reflective coating on the bottom side. The total thickness on this is actually like 14 mil. Now here's something that's kind of funky, but the lug width is actually 19 millimeter, but the bracelet is 20. So if you look closely, you can see the end link is actually 19, and you can see an instant flare out on the bracelet, and it keeps that straight cut 20 mil non-tapering beads of rice, and then a pretty much standard Doxa clasp that you see on a lot of the other models. Same thing with the bracelet. It's actually a very good bracelet. And I know some people might gripe about the clasp, but it keeps it really thin. It still has the 4 micro adjust. I don't have a problem with the clasp. You know, could they do something better? Sure, but I'm fine with this one. Pretty simple stamped diver extension there if needed. It is a 200 meter water resist watch, so you can take it diving. It's not a big deal. ETA 2824 movement, so you're going to have the date at the 3 o'clock, screw down crown, all of that good stuff. Very interesting case shape on this. Let's zoom in a bit and take a look. So it kind of has a very, like almost like twisted or lie lugs, I guess they're called, where they kind of twist and rotate like an Omega would, but they drop off very abruptly and then have the end link kind of like a shelf there. So interesting look. I'm actually digging it, oddly enough. I know some people might not like it, but I'm actually really digging this case and the shape and the way it wears on wrist. So, and I know I started off with saying there's going to be some downsides, and I'm kind of talking about everything I like about the watch. That's where this watch is a little conflicting for me, and I think it might be conflicting for a lot of other people, because once you get it, I mean, there might be that initial purchase where you're just like, all right, it's $990. It's just under $1,000. Just call it $1,000. The regular Doxa, if you want like the sub 300, or my favorite, the 1200T, those are basically 2,000 or say 1,900. They're like 1,890. Really, when you want a Doxa, those are the ones you want. You want that sub 300 or the sub 1200T. So where does this watch play in? Well, I don't know. It's definitely not like one of those watches. You can be assured of that. Has a sapphire bezel insert, so it's not going to be the metal bezel like you're going to have on all the other ones. Excuse me. The bezel action on it and the feel, because I've had both the 300s and the 1200s. I've owned a 1200, one or two of them, I can't remember. And the bezel action, this one feels a little springier than I remember on the upscale Doxa ones. And it almost feels like this bezel is very short, you know, where the grip is. So it's a little sharp feeling in between your index and your thumb. There's traction there, and it works fine, and it lines up. But like I said, it's just a little springy. But it's fine. It's totally fine. The bezel's not loomed or anything. And speaking of loom, the loom is crap. It's just crap. Total fail on Doxa's part. If somebody over at Doxa is listening to me, you can be mad, or you could actually put C3X1 in it and actually step your game up. It's a diving watch. We all love Doxa, and we want to love these more affordable ones, but you have to bring more to the table. You already have the ETA 2824 movement in here, and it runs great. I threw it on the time grapher. It runs great. It's like plus 3 seconds or something like that. And really, all of the other, whatever you want to call them, shortcomings of the watch could be overlooked. I personally believe if you would have loomed this thing like it should have been. So, and I will do a loom shot at the end, because the Bezel Rice is really good. The case is actually different but refreshing. It's kind of nice. I do like it. I know I rambled way too long on that. I was going to talk about the packaging too, but so the packaging is different on this guy too. A really nice stark white box. There's the Jenny branding all over the place too, and then it comes in this pouch thing here. It's semi-hard shell, opens up, very simple but effective. I have no complaints with this. I'm totally fine with this versus the, I think the 1200 I bought came in like a tube or something. This packaging is totally fine. I have no problems with that. And then the beads of rice, if you guys have not experienced a really good beads of rice, definitely check it out. It rates up there with probably one of the more comfortable bracelets out there, because it can stack and do all kinds of stuff. It's super comfortable. So let me pop this guy on wrist so you can see what it looks like on my 7 1/4. Here's a little hang tag that comes with it. There's the part number. Just go to doxa.com. I'll put a link in the description. So there it is on my 7 1/4 inch wrist. Super easy to size, screw links. The bracelet is not a problem. And even the clasp, like I said, I actually kind of like it. I'm even fine with like the little Jenny logos, which I think looks like Phineas and Ferb character, but depending on what orientation you put it at. But like I said, this thing is just killer. Like whatever color you want. I personally, if I'm gonna go with Doxa, I don't want, you know, something that's more plain or basic. I love the pop of color. I'm actually even toying with getting like a sub 300. And if I do, I'm going to get the turquoise one. I forget what that one's called, but I'll probably get like the turquoise one or something like that. I love the pop of color. And I didn't do the orange. I know the orange is like the iconic one, but I just didn't want to do the orange. Speaking of orange, nice little signed crown there. The Phineas and Ferb, I mean the Jenny logo. But that's the orientation I look at it, and I think it's funny. So here's the case back. Again, with the Jenny logo. 200 meter or 200 meter or 20 ATM, sub 200, sapphire crystal, all that good stuff. Screw down crown, or crown and case back, of course. If you read on their website too, it also says that it's the ETA 2824, but it's decorated by Doxa. I have no idea if they're going to claim that it's decorated down in their website. Why didn't they put a picture of it? I don't know. It just seems like a bit of a miss. I didn't see a picture of it. Maybe they'll add it later, but I'm not going to pop the case back off to confirm that claim, but I guess I'll just have to take their word for it. So ordering on their website was actually very easy, no problem. Shipping was fast, so no issue there. I feel like Doxa could be so much more than they are. And that goes for even the upscale models. Not that those need improvement, but the company and the communication as a whole, I think, is missing some massive opportunities to capitalize on what they really have here as a brand. It's still, you know, basically the Doxa crowd that is like loyal to it, and then a little bit of crowd outskirts of that actually are drawn into it, but they're missing like a whole, and maybe that's what market segment they were trying to approach with this, but even their marketing on it just doesn't seem like it's there. I don't know. It's pretty funky, but great watch nonetheless. I don't mean to bash it too much, but it's a Doxa 200. It's under $1,000 or really close to $1,000, so you're like half price almost of the larger, you know, the upscale ones. Is it worth it? I don't know. I paid for it. I actually paid for it with my own money, and I'm enjoying it, and I have no intention of selling it. Now, if you do buy one and you are looking to sell it, everything that I see, you're going to take a hit, probably close to 200, at least 150. You're going to take a hit on it. So say you pay 1,000, you're going to probably sell it for like 750, 800, maybe 850 on the top, depending on which one you have. Now, if you have the limited edition one, you're probably going to get your money back, maybe even make some money potentially. And that's the case with a lot of like really good brands that have limited edition watches. That's typically the case. But so if you're looking at getting a 200, just pay attention, do your own homework. You know, don't take just my word for it. There's other people out there that will either confirm or give you a different perspective than what I presented. So, you know, before you plop down $1,000 of your own money, make sure this is what you really want. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you know what you're getting, but if you think you're getting like the upscale Doxa, you're not. It is not that type of watch. So let me pop these lights off. I better move the loomed monster because it's going to be, it'll drown this thing out. The loom on it is I'm telling you, excuse me, I'm telling you, it probably shows up better on the camera than it is. The loom on this is poor. It is like, it's not good, straight up. So you just be aware of that. So if you're a loom junkie, don't buy the Doxa 200. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.